A new windshield for my V-Star 950. Coming right up. Okay, I have just finished installing the Krator 14-inch clear windscreen on my V-Star 950. This windshield was $110 on Amazon, and I think it's very similar to the Slipstreamer SS-20C, which goes for $210. If you look at the two side by side on the web pages, they look pretty exactly the same. So I've posted below the Slipstreamer instruction video to get their windscreen on, and it will help you put this one on as well. I had some unique challenges putting this one on the V-Star, so I tried to highlight that part of the installation. You can refer to the Slipstreamer video to help you with most of the other steps of the installation process. So this is the Krator 14-inch clear windscreen, and it's so clear that I had to park in front of my black car so you can kind of see it there. So anyway, give me your thoughts on, are you going to go with the Krator, do you think? It feels very strong. It's on there nice and tight. It doesn't vibrate. It doesn't wiggle in any way. I will say that there's not much more adjustment that I can do with it, and you'll see in some of the video that it's where it is right now is pretty much where it's going to stay, because there's not much room for adjustment left there. Okay, so let me know what your thoughts are. I'll take you through the steps. I'll show you some of my struggles, some of the modifications I had to make to get this on there, and then I'll see you at the end of the video. Okay, at this point I have all of my grommets in, and I have the arms on the top too. I held on to show you this, how I put the grommet in on this last one here. If you're a little bit more handy with tools, you might have a better way of doing this, but I discovered that using a plastic putty knife helped me out. You can maybe use an old credit card, but it's a little tricky to get it into the spot it needs to be to. So I'll show you what I do here. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm not sure if it really matters, but I've decided to, there's kind of two different sides to these grommets here, and the directions don't tell us what side to put out. So I've decided to put this kind of unfinished side facing out there. Not sure if you can see that there. So it is a tricky process. Squeezing, get as much in as I can with just my fingers. Take the putty knife. We're using a plastic putty knife because a metal one or a screwdriver might scratch your windshield here. So it's let's be patient. In a second here, I'll flip the windshield upside down. Kind of push in. Okay, I have it almost all the way in. I'm going to turn it upside down now. Pull that up. To be honest, The grommet looks a little beat up after I get this done, but try and be as gentle as possible. Alright, now I'm going to take one of my Allen wrenches and try to create the recreate the circular shape that it once had. A bit more work to do on this side. Just kind of prying it through. There we go. Okay, and that looks like it. I'm going to work on this just a little bit more. I don't know if you can see it there, but this side here looks like it needs it still, or this part looks like it still needs to come out a little bit more, come through a little bit more. There we go. I think that was it. There you go. So be patient with that. This white towel down here so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm doing this in my living room rather than out in the garage because I'm going to try it out to scratch my new windshield. And I figured here on the road, keep your packaging material and all that. You can store it in there because I'm taking a few days to do this. So, all right, that is ready for the next step. Alright, the next thing we need to put on is this barrel. This is the, can you see that there? This is the windshield barrel. And I've already put my set screw in. My set screw, these set screws, which are right in there, take this little tiny Allen wrench, and that goes in there. Once you get it all together, this is what you'll tighten up the arm with. But I put that in there already. I'm going to remove this screw here. I had some of this together I put together last night, obviously. And I put these two together so I know it would go. You can see that there are two different sized washers with this kit. Since there was 4 of these, I figured that it needed to go on each one of the windshield barrels. And there's only 2 of the smaller ones. All right. So, Phillips screw into one of the larger washers. That goes on the outside, and your barrel with this little rim here. Can you see that rim? That rim goes towards the windshield, and you're just going to screw that in like that, and I'm just going to finger tighten it for now. Okay. Now, as per the video I've been watching to help me with this, I'm not going to put the lower rods in yet. Lower rods look like this. They're the shorter ones. The top rods are the longer ones. I'm not going to put the lower rods in yet. We'll take care of them once we get the windshield situated on the bike. Okay, and that's how you do the other, that's how you do the other 3 grommets. So just do the same thing for each grommet using your plastic putty knife. Again, maybe a credit card, an old credit card. It does have to have a little strength in here to help you push that in there. Be patient with that. It's not the most fun thing I've done over the holidays here. All right, let's go to the garage and take a look at the handlebar mounts. Actually, before we go out to the garage, I'm going to insert all of the set screws in each one of the barrels that I'll need to put on out there. So I've already put the set screws on the windshield barrels. These are the barrels that are on the handlebars. And again, the set screws go in the end here. And use the small Allen wrench. This is the smallest Allen wrench that comes with the kit. Small Allen wrench to just get them in there so that way you're not fooling with that out in the garage. Of course, if you have a really nice garage, it might be just fine. My garage is not so nice. It's not heated, a little dark. So I'm going to do this in here before I go outside. Okay, pretty easy to get them in. And that's one less thing we need to worry about outside. All right, let's put the handlebar clamps on now. Take a look at them. There's two different sides to the handlebar clamp. You want to make sure that the piece that has the flat side on it, right there, is facing you on the driver's side of the handlebar. The other part is make sure your barrel is the correct barrel. We want the barrel with the larger opening there for the screw, and it actually says bolt on the instructions, as you see in the pictures. All right, let's go ahead and put on my second handlebar clamp. Okay, I have no idea where this is all going to end up, so I'll just put things together nice and loosely. So this is the back side of the clamp here. Bring that down about where I have the one on the other side here. Put this takes the larger bolt, so that'll go through the back side here. Get the other piece of the clamp. Remember, this is the flat side. The flat side's going to be facing you. And just kind of pull it up, and it actually fits on this V-Star handlebar quite nicely. And then we want to put on the Star washer. And I guess that'll help it lock in there. And then we put on the barrel. And again, the barrel, this can only go on one way, so there's no way to mess that one up. Although where there's a will, I can always mess something up. Or where there's a way, I should say. All right, so that's, I noticed some shavings inside these, the threads here, you know, machine shavings, so it gets a little tight. I tried to get them out. All right, so I just gave a little crank on that with this is the largest Allen wrench that goes with this one here. So I have one barrel here, and I have one barrel over here. Now I'll go ahead and start working on the forks, which look to be interesting to attach here. All right, okay, so let me show you what I'm doing here. For the fork brace, it's a bit interesting. So anyway, you're going to have to bend this out, and I recommend that you bend a little bit here, bend a little bit there, a little bit there. I might even need to bend this a little bit more. What I did on the first one is I gave it just one bend, and now I have like almost a crease there. So be gentle as you're bending all around here, so that when you bring it back, hopefully it'll close up nicely around your fork there. This is going to have to go in there, which makes it a little tough because this is going to be around the fork itself, and then you gotta, so when you're bending it around the fork tube, you gotta kind of get this in there, and then you'll bring it all back, hopefully somewhat round. They're a little tricky to get in like that. All right, so the gasket is already on the bike. I have that around the fork tube, and I actually did use electrical tape to keep that up there. I didn't want to use the tape, but it was something I needed to do. All right, and the screw is going to go in the back side. I have the smaller washer on each one. It did not say to use washers on the directions, but I have 2 washers left, and I think that's where they need to go. It's going to go in like this. I'm going to take this small Star washer, and like that. And the way it ends up on our bike, on this V-Star, the way I'm doing it at this point, is that this is facing out front. So the front of the bike is here, and it's going to end up something like that. Of course, I'll screw all that in. All right, and we'll see how all that works. You have to be a little bit creative while doing this. This is an interesting task indeed. All right, here we go. Okay, well, I figured out that I could not use this first notch on on my fork tube because this was actually too big. So I needed to move to this second notch here. And because I did that, the screw that they sent with the kit was no longer long enough. No longer long enough. So I had to run out to Home Depot, get the same size screw, just a little bit longer. This is a metric 6 1.0 by 35 millimeter. So it's a little bit longer than the screw that came with the kit. And of course it's a little bit different. This actually looks like the other bolt for the other part that we saw earlier. So this will help me bring it together. See, it's not even round anymore. I gotta make it a little bit more round. And it'll sit on the bike about like this. And once I get it on there, I'll, you kind of have to line up these holes here. It will be just about like that once it's on there. Okay, I have one on already. Hopefully this one will go on. So again, I have to go to the second. All right, so getting this on proved to be a little bit tricky. I'll try to show you what I did here. I took my vise here and I went ahead and squeeze these two pieces together, putting pressure on the tip up there on the screw head while screwing this in down here. Okay, and that allowed me to at least get things on here. Now I'm going to turn this. Need to turn this a little bit more this way. Keeping this up as high as I can get it, because that's where it needs to be on these forks here. These forks go out, they flare out, so it makes it real difficult as to where to put this thing. So I decided to put it way at the very top, and that's where it needs to be anyway, because the arms are not really that long. Okay, and then I'll get my pliers. My pliers down on the screw head here. Pliers down on the screw head here. And I'm going to bend some of these cable harnesses out of the way. Actually, maybe you can actually do this with my Allen wrench back in here on this side. They both seem pretty pretty sturdy there. Okay, so that's about where I want them. Okay, and that's how that left one is looking at this point. This is how the right one is looking. Not real happy that the gasket bunched up there because I had to tighten this so much. And around here, but actually looked all right. See how much space is in there? So the stock screw that came with the set would not make that distance there. Okay, so here it is from the driver's side, from the rider's side. Looks pretty good. It's hard to make this exactly centered. You can see there is just a little bit off to the right. I'll continue working on that. It's just, you know, one of these little mounting points is off just a little bit. It's going to throw things. All right, now let's take a look at the front. All right, and here it is from the front. Everything is tied down, tightened up. Now I just need to wait for a dry day to take it out for a spin and see what it feels like. All right, this is what it looks like out of the cave. A little bit brighter day today. I have yet to take it for a ride. I'll try to do that shortly. Looks pretty good. It's the clear, so actually it's hard to take a picture of it because it is so clear. So I guess if I keep it nice and clean, it won't even look like it's on there. One of the issues we have with this particular bike is the tapered fork tube right here. So I put this up as high as I could, knowing that if I put it any lower, then it would probably want to slide up anyway. And that's pretty much where I think it needs to be based on the length of these rods here. There's not much more length for them, so I feel like I was able to put it down any further anyway. The one thing that I would like to have is instead of all these set screws, let me show you one there, or all these set screws right here being an Allen wrench, if they could have been like a T top screw there, so you can easily unscrew it by hand. Maybe down the road I'll see if I can replace all of them, find some at the hardware store or something. Alright, overall, you just gotta have patience putting this thing on. In general, this does a nice job, really, for what I paid for it. Everything is still nice and strong. The hand protection over here from the wind is not quite what I was hoping it would be. I think it does give a little bit of protection, but since the ride that I just came back on, I was only out for about a half hour, but it was about 43 degrees, so it was feeling a little bit chilly no matter what. But this area right in here seems to do a nice job. Now, if this windshield would probably be more effective if it just went, you know, kind of straight around that way without this in here, because this area here does kind of give a forced bit of air, I believe, probably back to the shoulders or something. But in general, this right here, not too bad. There is a little bit of air that comes in down there, but that's not really a big deal, I don't think. So if I had not had this windshield on today, I would not have been riding, because the force of the air that comes over that headlight without the windshield is just too much at 43 degrees. So in general, pretty happy. Again, these guys stay nice and strong. I mean, it's on there nice and strong. I'm not worried about that. Just give a little tighten on each one of those screws before they go out every now and then. Probably a good idea to keep those Allen wrenches in the toolkit. As soon as I get my saddlebags on, I'll throw the Allen wrenches in there. All right, so there you have it. I like this for what I paid for it. I like this. I think it's gonna be really nice when it's around 65, 70 degrees and just a little cool. That'll help me ride comfortably for a very long time. Now I need to get some lowers because my ankles got pretty cold on that ride. All right. Okay, and there it is. Let me know how you made out on your installation. Let me know if you're going to think about the Krator 14-inch. Again, I think this is a great deal. It's a well-built windshield. You have to be patient putting it on there. Maybe 2 people would help, or having 1 other person help you install it would be great. I did it all by myself, and it was a little frustrating at times, but it can be done. So let me know in the comments below. You're going to think about the Krator. Do you have a Krator? And just let me know how it goes, all right? Thanks again for tuning in, and thanks for watching.